My wife cheated with my brother, and I made them both pay. I found out my wife was cheating with my brother. I divorced her, went no contact with my toxic family, and years later, things took a turn I never saw coming. I'm Tom, 35, and I had been married to Rachel, 32, for 6 years. Our relationship had its ups and downs like any marriage, but we were strong. We had built a life together, and I thought I knew her, until everything changed in the worst way possible. It all started 8 months ago when my brother Sam, 28, moved back to our hometown after living in Florida. His long-term girlfriend dumped him, and he came back home, broke and heartbroken. He claimed she had cheated on him with other women, but I was skeptical. I didn't know his girlfriend well, having only met her a handful of times. Still, I didn't want to jump to conclusions. After Sam came back, he moved in with our parents. He was struggling to find work, and I suggested Rachel could help. She worked in a higher-up position at her company and was able to pull some strings. Sam got a job in her department. For context, my brother and I had never been close. He had always been the golden child to our parents, and I was left in the shadows. We had a falling out years ago when our parents passed away, and it all came down to the family home. I wanted to keep it, but Sam saw it as an asset to be sold. After that fight, we didn't speak. I figured that was that. But Sam's return started to change things. At least I thought it would. He spent more and more time at my house, and at first I thought it was a good thing. Maybe he was trying to build a better relationship with me. But soon, I started noticing things. He and Rachel were getting close, really close. They talked about everything. Inside jokes, work things, personal stuff. Every time I asked Rachel about it, she'd brush it off and say, "Oh, we're just talking about work." But it felt off. Then I started noticing more red flags. Sam would be at our house when I came home from work. Rachel and I had different schedules. She worked 8 to 4:30, I worked 10 to 7, so it wasn't unusual for him to be there, but it was the frequency that bothered me. 2 months ago, things took an even stranger turn. I always make the bed before I leave for work, pillowcases facing the edge of the bed. But when I got home, I noticed the pillows were facing the wrong way. I asked Rachel about it, and she got a little defensive. She said I must have been mistaken, but something didn't sit right. A week later, my suspicions were confirmed. During a family dinner at my parents' house, Sam grabbed Rachel's arm lightly. She turned to him, and they whispered something to each other before touching foreheads. It was brief, but I saw it. My stomach dropped. I tried not to believe what I was thinking. I couldn't, but the signs were undeniable. I had to confront Rachel. I planned a weekend getaway, hoping we could work through this. The truth? A weekend that changed everything. It was a nice Friday. We went out for drinks, danced, spent time together. I didn't bring it up that night. I really hoped I was wrong. But the next morning, I couldn't take it anymore. I looked Rachel in the eyes and asked, "Are you having an affair with my brother?" She teared up and admitted it. My heart shattered. She was sorry, she said, but they just clicked. They kissed, and then it progressed from there. She had been sleeping with him in our bed while I was at work. I left the hotel immediately, my heart broken, but I had to do what I had to do. I came back home alone. Rachel took an Uber, and when she arrived, she tried to apologize. I didn't acknowledge her. She packed a bag and left for a hotel that night. The next day, I told my parents. They already knew, and they weren't surprised. They said Sam had left that night and might not be back for a few days. I knew where he had gone. He'd gone to Rachel. The fallout, divorce and no contact. That was 3 months ago. Rachel found an apartment quickly. Sam moved in with her. Our divorce is almost final. She offered me the house and savings at first, but I knew this was just her guilt talking. After a few days, she told me we'd have to split the house. That's when I knew Sam had gotten in her ear. I had already moved everything into a new account. There was no fight over the savings. And just like that, 9 years of my life were gone. But what she didn't know was that she was making the biggest mistake of her life. Sam is a narcissist, and he would throw her away just like he did me. After I found out about their affair, Sam was cruel. He tagged me in a Facebook post showing him and Rachel in a selfie with her, kissing him on the cheek. The caption read, "Feeling loved." It was disgusting. I logged out of my account, deleted the app, and blocked him. My parents weren't any better. They played the pity game when I told them I was going no contact with Rachel and Sam. My mother said, "I'm sorry this happened. It shouldn't have happened this way. But your brother deserves to be happy, too." I snapped. "Sam deserves nothing." I blocked them all. No contact. I moved away and didn't tell anyone where I was going. I wanted nothing to do with them. Update. Moving on and a shocking revelation. It's been 4 years since I went no contact with my family. I'm engaged to Emily, 37, a chef who owns a restaurant with her twin sister. Emily and I have been building a life together, and I've never been happier. But then, out of nowhere, my family tried to reach me. They sent me a wedding invitation for Rachel and Sam's wedding. The letter from my parents begged me to forgive them and said Sam wanted me to be a groomsman. I didn't respond. Instead, I figured out who gave my ex my new address and cut them off. The latest drama, Sam's health crisis. Then, a few weeks ago, Sam reached out to me. He said he wanted to talk. I agreed to a Zoom meeting with just him and my parents. They apologized for everything that happened, including what Sam had done to me. Then, the real reason they reached out came out. Sam had been sick. His kidneys were failing, and he needed a transplant. They wanted me to come back and see if I was a match. I asked them point blank. "You want me to save him after everything he's done? After what he did to me and Rachel? I'm supposed to help him now?" My dad started crying, begging me to help. I told them I needed to think about it. I called Emily and talked to her about it. She said she supported me no matter what. I agreed to go back to St. Charles and get tested for a match, but when I got there, I wasn't there to make peace. The final test, the truth unleashed. When I arrived, Sam was in the hospital. I met with the doctors and they explained how I was a perfect match. Everyone was pushing me to donate, to be the hero, but I wasn't there to save Sam. I walked into his room, took his hand and told him, "I'm a perfect match, Sam, but I'm not going to save you. You're the most vile, narcissistic person I've ever known. The one person who could keep you alive is the one person you've wronged the most." Sam burst into tears, and my parents were stunned. The doctor and nurse were in shock. I told them, "Don't even talk to me. Don't ask me for anything ever again." The final goodbye. I walked out of the hospital room, left my toxic family behind, and never looked back. Now I'm back in Minnesota, living with my real family, Emily and her twin sister, Emma. I've rebuilt my life piece by piece. I've moved on. And as for Sam and Rachel, they got exactly what they deserved. Sometimes the people who think they can break you are the ones who end up exposed for who they really are. And when that happens, they have nothing left to take from you.